What's going on, guys? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Ryan here. I got some PlayStation news, some gaming news for you. Man, this is going to be interesting. You already seen this right here. A lot of you are probably laughing. I kind of was laughing when I saw this, but the Nintendo Switch is getting a keyboard that connects to the Joy-Cons. You know, as opposed to just plugging into the console. No, you need the Joy-Cons to use this. Hopefully not, but there you go. I can't even imagine the one asshole that will use this. It's like you're holding a damn tray. You're typing with this thing. I don't know. That's one of the dumbest gimmicks I've ever seen. Like, this is one of the most dumbest attachments I've ever seen. But there you go. And I already know some idiots gonna say that's biased. No, just look at it. It's dumb. But it'll be released in Japan for the PlayStation. Well, what's this? Oh, that's wrong. Whoops. I mean, not wrong. When is this coming? This keyboard is set to release on September 30th. So there you go. There you go. Are you excited for it? Do you care for it? I don't give a shit for it, but you know. There you go. Now let's get into some good Switch news. Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2 will be launching on the Switch in September 22nd in the West. So there you go. Dragon Ball Z will be coming to the Switch. I'm getting some PlayStation news now. Horizon Zero Dawn was named the best original score at the Jerry Goldsmith Awards, so that's pretty cool. It's good to see the game get a lot of recognition that it's gotten. It's a new IP. New IPs are usually hit or miss. You know, some of them, like, they captivate a few audience, but they don't really get the whole audience with the first game. Usually it comes with the sequel. I mean, look at Uncharted. Uncharted had a nice little following when it was going into number 2. You know, everybody liked the first one. A lot of people liked the first one. But when it came to number 2, that's when everybody was like, you know what? This franchise is awesome. Well, it's good to see Horizon do that with just the first game. That's pretty cool. You know, selling well. It's done well for itself, so that's cool. Alright. Now, this right here, both the PS4 and Nintendo Switch sales are expected to be strong in Japan in the near future, according to the media Create. Now, I can already say that right now. Yeah, obviously the sales are going to be strong. Why? Sony's got a lot of games. Nintendo's got a lot of games going into Japan. They got a lot of ports going to their consoles, so they're going to do well. And Microsoft really is no competition to either Sony or Microsoft, or I'm sorry, to either Sony or Nintendo when it comes to Japan. I mean, they can't even sell 1,000 units when it comes to Japan, you know? Like, I'm talking on a weekly basis. They only sell like 150, you know? Sometimes they'll get 600, 500, you know what I'm saying? They don't really sell Xboxes in Japan. And that just goes to show, man. It's not no bias, it's just Xbox doesn't really have no games in Japan that cater to them. So, there you go. Okay, what's this? PlayStation Unchained podcast for the players. Win a 50 PSN voucher code. So there you go. If you guys want to win that, they had this thing going on right here. Go check them out, and they'll be giving that away. So there you go. Okay, let's get into some Crash news. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy tops UK sales for the second straight week. Now, for all of you that have been wanting, for all of you that want Spyro, hey, this continues to happen, especially in the U.S. as well. The U.S. is doing very well, too. But if this continues to happen in terms of sales, you're going to get Spyro. You're going to get Crash Team Racing. Hell, we might even get a new Crash. It's going to happen. You're going to get this. Okay, Spyro is expected to come back. A lot of people are speculating, especially with the whole Easter egg, with the whole cheat code on the screen. Now, nothing really happens on the screen. I actually had to do a little bit more research on that. A lot of people called me on that. Yeah, it doesn't really happen on the screen. What happens is your cursor disappears, and like it makes the sound that it made back in the original PlayStation when you enter the code to get the demo. The same exact thing happens on the screen. That's about it. No Spyro shows up on the map. I thought Spyro was on the map. I guess I just I fell for a Photoshop or something. 'Cause I could have sworn I saw Spyro on the island or something like that, and he was like looking at you, winking or something. But that didn't happen. So there you go. Crash Bandicoot continues to do good. So that's awesome. Good to see. Okay. Now, we already got this story a while back, but I guess they had to clarify it even more. But Spider-Man on the PS4, New York City is several times larger than Sunset Overdrive. Now, the last time I read this, they said it was 3 times bigger than Sunset Overdrive City. But now they're saying it's 3 times larger. So, yeah, there you go. I mean, or several times larger. So, there you go. I think it's good. You know, we already saw the gameplay. You guys know this is my most anticipated game. You know, Insomniac has rejuvenated my interest in Spider-Man games. They really have. So I'm hyped for it. I know a lot of other people are hyped for this. It's going to look good. I can't wait to play it. If you guys didn't see Spider-Man the movie, now's the time. I'm telling you right now, take my word for it. It's great. It's a good movie. They did a good job with the Spider-Man movie. It's really good. And we might actually see that Spider-Man suit in this game as like a skin or something like that, because there were talks that there was going to be alternate suits. So we might actually see that in here. But with that being said, I mean, that's about it. I mean, I can't really gush about this game too much, you know. It's a lot. It's coming out next year, obviously. But, you know, I'm hyped for it. I know a lot of people are hyped for it, so it's going to be good to see. Now, the PS5 will be more powerful than the Xbox One X. Sony locked in teraflops race. Now, we already know that every console is more stronger than the one in the previous. Okay? We knew that with the Xbox One X, aka the Scorpio, back when the PS4 Pro came out. The PS4 Pro was never meant to be a 4K upgrade. It was more like of an upscale upgrade, you know, for PlayStation users. But, you know, Xbox dudes thought it was an upgrade, and it wasn't. It wasn't an upgrade. So, that's pretty cool, whatnot. But, you know, Xbox One X is coming out now, and, well, it's not that much different from a Pro. The only difference is it has a better GPU. Still has the same gimped hardware with the CPU. And I did a video on that where I said these consoles need at least a Ryzen Tech CPU in the next one. And if they really want to make the PlayStation 5 future-proof, they really want to make the PlayStation 5 great, and the Xbox 3, they need to drop these crappy CPUs and go real high-tech with the CPUs. Now, I know they're going to stay with, they're probably going to stay with AMD in terms of, like, graphics cards, probably. But they need to legit move past AMD and get legit CPUs in these consoles. They need that. So with that being said, let's go down. All right, by the time 4K becomes affordable in 2019, PlayStation will have a 4K device that will have more teraflops than the Xbox One X has, because they seem to be in a teraflops race, said Pachter. Okay, so this is from Michael Pachter. Okay. Take this with a huge, I mean the hugest glop of goddamn salt you can name of. Because Michael Pachter is one of the dumbest pieces of slime in the fucking internet. So, I don't take him seriously, but I really don't. Everything this dude says. I remember this dude said Microsoft was going to be teaming up with fucking cable providers with the Xbox One when back when it was coming out, and he was like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna definitely team up with like DirecTV and basically sell Xbox One for like $100 to just win the console generation." I'm like, "What the fuck are you getting this shit from?" You know, that's what he was getting that shit from. I'm like, bro, I don't know what the fuck's going on with you. And basically saying Microsoft is going to become a cable company in a sense, because you pay you pay Xbox Live, which is basically going to be like a cable company to play games, and it'll be $100 console is going to be sold. I'm like, dude, I don't know where you came up with that bullshit, but you know, I mean, I don't know. You think about it, it could have went down that way if that DRM shit actually made it. But you know, hey, that's that. Yeah, new consoles come out around 2019, 2020. I say 2020. That's what I'm thinking. A lot of people saying 2020. Logical sense. Why? Because a lot of games still coming out. But we might actually see the console. We might actually see the banner like they did with that February 20th conference where, you know, where Andrew House will sit in front of a group of media and he'll go, yes, this is PlayStation 5, and the banner will be behind him, and then we'll see, like, you know, the controller, which will probably be the same PS4 controller, maybe a little bit more upgraded, like with the triggers. And then they'll show the specs, and then they'll say, hey, look, we're here. These are the games we got, and every third-party dev's on board. Boom. Then we go to 2020, and we get the system. That's probably what's going to happen. That's what should happen. So, well, with that being said, there you go. As far as this whole teraflops race with the whole Microsoft and Sony, listen. There was this I remember Stone Fox Media did a video on this. He said that PS5 was going to be 16 teraflops. And I'm like, listen, if it's 16 fucking teraflops, and it has shitty CPUs and it has shitty GPUs, what's the point of that shit? You know, I'm going to call Sony on that too. What's the point of that bullshit? You know what I'm saying? They need better tech than to really take a harness of this 4K, especially when you're really trying to push 4K. You know, 60 frames per second is definitely the target frames per second that everybody wants next generation. We don't want 30 frames no more. Okay? All the retards that are fucking lying to themselves, I actually got a few retards in my comments that are trying to damage control the Xbox One X, saying, well, PCs can't run 4K games, or they can't run games at 4K 250 frames per second. What makes you think a console can? I'm like, you're an idiot. You basically answered my point. Yeah, they're for PCs are doing 4K 60. That's my point. I'm not talking about doing 250 frames. No, 60 frames per second is more responsive. 60 frames per second is more of an experience. You know what I'm saying? You want games at 60 frames per second. You want that speed. I'm telling you, if you played not Uncharted, I'm sorry. If Crash Bandicoot that came out just now was 60 frames per second, I promise you a lot more people wouldn't be because a lot of people are bitching. They're saying that the game is too hard because it's old school feels. If they made it 60 frames per second, a lot of these people wouldn't be bitching. I promise you that much. It would be a lot more, even more responsive than it is now. It's a good responsive game, but I'm saying it could be even more responsive, but they kept it the same way. Why? Because they want to push graphics. But hey, again, I hope graphics isn't the sole thing they're focused on with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox 3. I really do hope that's not the sole thing that they are going to focus on, okay? I do want the PS4, or I'm sorry, the PS5 and the Xbox One, or I guess Xbox 3. I want that to be good, but at the same time, I want them to push the hardware and push this generation forward. 30 frames per second should have been behind us by now. The fact that we're still doing 30 frames per second from the PS3 generation to now is kind of unacceptable. Okay, 60 frames per second needs to be the norm. That's exactly what needs to be happening. And I'm talking to you guys very serious here, because 60 frames per second should be the norm. We need better graphics cards. We need better CPUs in these consoles. Otherwise, we're not going to get what we want. And that's very good games that perform and look good and play at the level that we all want them to play. Okay? You know, I'm not really bitching that hard about Spider-Man not being 60 frames per second. Why? Why? Well, for number one, it's an open world game, kind of like what they doing with Assassin's Creed Origins. It's open world, so it's 30 frames per second on both One X and, you know what I'm saying, and PS4 Pro. But at the same time, this is just step one for Spider-Man for PS4. Okay, the sequels are not going to be on the PS4. They're going to be on the PlayStation 5. So, for future reference, The Last of Us 3, Spider-Man, or maybe the port of The Last of Us 2, because a lot of people are saying The Last of Us 2 is going to get pushed to the PS5 as a launch title. Yeah, that happens, it happens. But these games as launch titles, or these games in the future going into PlayStation 5, if these games are 60 frames per second, and you had that type of gameplay that you had with Spider-Man now, you know, on PS4, dude, you're going to have an awesome experience next gen. And that's what I'm talking about. You need games that are not only pushing the boundaries, but you need games that are performing at the level that you want. You need that. And this is me talking to you very, very simple. We want that. You want that. I want that. You want that. And more importantly, we need that in gaming. 30 frames per second is behind us, and any person tries to damage control that does not know the difference. They don't even know what they're talking about. They don't know. They haven't played a 60 frames per second game, especially when they claim. Whenever you see an idiot say something like, "Oh, I played a 60 frames per second game. I didn't tell the difference between 30 frames." You didn't really play a 60 frames per second game. I'm telling you right now, you didn't. You just didn't. I'm being real with you. You just didn't. But that's about it. I know I'm rambling a bit, but I got to get my point across, because a lot of people ask that question. I do wish the Xbox One X could do 60 frames per second, at least 1080p 60 frames per second. And you know what's funny? It can do 1080p 60 frames per second. However, Phil Spencer, good old Phil McCracken, is pushing 4K so hard instead of pushing what really matters, 1080p 60 in this current gen. I'm telling you right now, if he legit just came out and said, you know what, we're done with the whole 4K push for now, we're gonna save that for the next Xbox. All games now are just gonna be 1080p 60. I guarantee you, all the games that they want to sell will sell. I promise you. If you came out with something like that, and that's the God honest truth. That's the God honest truth, man. 4K, it's just not the standard yet. Yes, people are getting into 4K and they're liking 4K, they like the pictures, but 4K is too expensive. It's basically HDMI from the PS3 generation. It's that all over again. It's not taking off yet. It's not really the big thing yet. You know what I'm saying? The TVs are too big, they're too fucking small. Or I'm sorry, they're too big and they're too fucking, they have like crazy input lag, a good chunk of them do. Me personally, I play on monitors. I play on 1 millisecond monitors, so I have two 1080p display monitors. One's connected to my PC and the other's connected to my PlayStation. I have that type of setup, okay? If I do want 4K, I will get 4K. Trust me, I'm going to move to 4K. I'm going to upgrade my graphics cards and everything, but the thing is, if I want to get to 4K, I want a monitor to play my games on. I don't want to play it on a big display. I hate playing on big displays because of the response time. I really don't. And that's mostly because I'm a competitive person, okay? I value the response time, but at the same time, I value the crispness of the picture as well. Okay, that's what I value the most when it comes to these displays. But that's it, though. That's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, I know I rambled a bit, but I gotta get my point across. But I know I rambled a bit. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you thumb it up if you liked it. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. Welcome all new subs again. We're almost at 600 subscribers, and that's pretty damn impressive. Thank you guys for all your support. Appreciate you. And I got another video I got planned today. It's not really a diss video. It's kind of just a laugh video. So you're all just going to laugh at this one. But that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed again. You guys be good. And I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys again for all your support. And, man, we're having fun, man. We're having fun on this. All right? You guys be good. Deuces.